Hello, my name is Jacques Steenkamp. I'm the CEO of EICC. We're accountants and business advisors. We're also the guys behind TaxDash, who's created this. It's an advanced income personal tax planning tool, but we also use this to collect information to process our clients' personal tax returns. So today I quickly want to talk to you how to record your self-employed income on TaxDash if you would like us to do your tax return. So firstly, you can see from the menu bar at the top, you can go straight into the different income sections, or you can go from here, the service section, and just go straight into tax returns, and then go into UK income. Scrolling down until you see self-employed income, and you can go and add the module. First, you'll be given two options, and this is really just to differentiate whether it's a small sole trader business or a bigger one. If your turnover is more than £45,000, and the fee will be slightly more if you've got a business with turnover more than £45,000. So if you select that option, for now, we're just going to go with that. Once you are logged in, you're just going to have some basic information about your business. And then let's say postcode is W11, and then we say description of your business. I'm a plumber today, and the information hasn't changed. This is just basic information that we have to ask you. I'm just going to say no to that. And yes, this is just specific information about your business that you need to go and capture. When did the business start? Did the business cease? All important for tax purposes when you do your tax return. So just important to go and do that. Once you've done it, you can either go to the dashboard. Let's go to the dashboard first. It will then create an account. You can also go and add, if you've got more than one self-employed business, you can go and add those other ones to try and keep separate your income and expenses per business. Right. Once you've created this, you can go into add transactions. Firstly, it's going to ask you if you've got expenses more than £1,000. If you don't have expenses of total expense of more than £1,000, then you can claim a £1,000 trading allowance. So in this example, I'm going to say no, we've got expenses more than £1,000. Right. So if you then go here, firstly, we've added in this link now. It's a link to our knowledge base where you can read up more about what sort of expenses you can and can't deduct, which is obviously going to really help you if you have some questions about that. The other thing is currently we're busy doing the 23-24 tax return. And this tax year started on the 6th of April 2023, and it finished on the 5th of April 2024. Now, you've got options with TaxDash. You can either go and capture each individual transaction and on the date it was paid for, or you can just capture the totals for the year. So it really depends on your personal circumstances. If you've got the totals, if you've maybe taken your bank account, self-employed bank account, and you've summarized all your income and expenses, you've got that, or you're using Excel, or you've got an accounting software and you've got the totals, then you can just go and capture totals into TaxDash. If you've got very few transactions and you don't have that audit trail, then you can capture the individual transactions. But it's not necessary that you go and duplicate, capture every single detailed transaction. We're going to have to see how we're going to deal with this when we get to Making Tax Digital in a couple of years' time, when we need to do a quarterly submission to HMRC. Then we're going to have to start capture the more detailed transactions. But for now, you can just go, if you've got a summary, you can just go with totals. So you can select the last day of the tax year, and then you can just start with the headings and say, okay, self-employed income. Let's say we had £20,000 self-employed income. And I just saved and add another. So let's say you can start to add your expenses. So let's say you had accounting fees of £240. Let's say what other expenses. So you've got computer hardware of £1,000. Let's add a few more. I think you get the idea, right? So if you've maybe sold any goods, let's say that was 2,500. You get the idea. I just quickly want to show you one more thing. Let's go to internet and Wi-Fi. Okay, so let's say that was £200. We've also added in a cool feature here. So let's say that was your 200 cost for internet, but a part of that was used for personal use as well. And you want to say, all right, I want to change that and only claim 50% of that relates to the business. So the system will then automatically only go and take 50% of that and use that as a business expense. So, right, so we've saved all of that. Here it lists all your transactions. You can see, you can always summarize it here per tax year if you wanted to, if you've already captured more than one here. So it keeps a nice audit trail of all of that. Here you can edit the transaction, here you can delete the transaction, and here you can see more information. Once you've completed all of that, you can go to the income and expenses section. Here it will summarize it in like a profit and loss for you, all the income and expenses for your business. It will also right here at the bottom, and actually when you capture transactions, I just want to go back to this quickly. If you go and add a transaction, if you've got any capital improvements, so if you bought a van or anything like that, it is at the bottom. So again, different tax rules apply to that, because if it's a capital asset, you need to go and capitalize it and write it off over a period. So this is for more complicated self-employed businesses. In actual fact, I would recommend if you've got assets that you need to draw up a set of accounts, or you need to use an accounting software to keep track of those assets and write it off. Okay, so let's just go back to income and expenses. Like I said, here it will summarize all your income and expenses. You can actually, if you click on this button, which is really cool, it summarizes all your income and expenses to the categories that we need to complete on your personal tax return. So these are the only categories on your tax return. So that will then summarize nice and say that's your total income, that's your expenses, and that was your profit for self-employed for the year. And so it's also just important, the fee that we quote here at the bottom left is based on you completing or capturing your income details onto TaxDash. If you want us to capture it for you, sometimes clients just have the list of things and they want us to capture it. That's fine. You can upload your Excel file into the document center, get in touch with one, maybe just send us a message via the message board, and then come back to us and say, all right, I want to get you guys to do it. If it's really basic, simple, we'll charge you a very small admin fee to upload that information. If you've got a more complicated business and it's a lot of Excel spreadsheets and we need to draft a set of accounts to get your assets and write it off, then there's going to be a bigger fee. So it really just depends on your personal circumstances. But if your stuff is really, really easy, then you can just go in yourself and capture it there. Again, we don't just submit those informations. Once you've captured all your income details and you've made payment, then we will review the financials. And again, like I said, you've got the message board here. You can ask us questions. Let us know if something's not making sense, if you need help with expenses or what you can and can't claim. Also, once you've done all of that, we will then process all the information and upload the draft calculation once you've completed all your income information. So you've got support the whole way through the process. And once you've completed all of that, you can go back to tax return. And once you completed all your income details for self-employed, you can just say complete the section, and you're done with that, and you can move on to the other income sections to complete that. I hope that was helpful. Again, if you've got any questions and if you need to speak to a more technical accountant, you can also click on services and book in a call with one of the more specialist accountants. Yes. Thank you so much for listening. Appreciate it. Thank you.